Yo, yo. Welcome back to another watch list. I'm your host, D22. Let's get right into the list. Do my same kind of format here. Run through trade review from today. Go over a watch list for tomorrow. If anybody hops in the chat between now and then, we can answer some questions, and then I will move on. It's getting a bit late, especially for you East Coasters, so we'll make it short and sweet and get back to it tomorrow. Trades from today, main one was RBLX. Gapped up on earnings, and zooming out, major multi-year base that it broke out of, and this little 48 level was the big picture breakout, and you got a pullback, higher low, double bottom retest. I put some on, risk on lows. I scaled through that 50 break, the lower high right through here, through that 50 break, and moved risk down to 49-ish. And then I drew higher low trend line and sold half on the failed follow through, looking for it to reclaim. Once it stuffed here, I was looking to get out on pops. So sold a bit earlier than I would have liked. I thought this would have trended a bit better, but with the overall markets heavy, not a surprise that this one didn't continue. So could go higher tomorrow, but I was looking for an intraday trade. One second. Plug this wire in. And then my other trade, IONQ, I have on there. Oh yeah, this was a dip buy. Same thing again, where I'm one dip too early, buy it, sold it on a new low a day, it reclaimed, bought it, and scalped it out. So it was just straight down. I figure it would have had a decent bounce like it's had every other time it's faded. Here, big bounce, here, big bounce, here, big bounce, and then here, and this one stayed heavy. So probably due to this failed follow through under 1570-ish, which is right around where it bounced up to. So not a coincidence that it stopped there. So I'd expect lower on that. Luke says, what up? Thoughts on order flow? No, sir. I don't really look at order flow much. I do watch the tape a little bit, the time and sales, but I don't really base too many decisions off of it. Mostly the in the box in the level 2. 1 second, I will be right back. So in terms of order flow, no, I don't really watch it too much. Doesn't base too much my decisions. Most of it is just technicals and the chart. DJT, fairly bounceless, finally. I would have preferred for this to gap down into the 33s, 34s. I think that would have had a better bounce in it than a gap up and then fail and flush into it. So I know a lot of people were trying to dip by this today. And similar to this first red day when it was overextended and you get that big pull, it bounces and squeezes all the shorts out, makes it think it's going higher. And then that gap down was the quiet fader. So now today, people are dip buying this and it's holding support. So thinking that it's going to bounce tomorrow. So if I can get a gap down below today's support and wash out all the longs from today and then hold like 30-ish over under, then I think that would be a good bounce opportunity on Friday into the weekend. Fun. I was looking for 840 pops, and that only came at like 2 a.m. my time, so not gonna be trading that. But right off 840 and then never saw higher. GNPX, I think this is notable. Decent little hold. You got that push, pull, lower high, and now possible higher low, but it's not technically a higher low until it breaks over $3, the prior lower high. So it's either going to break under 180 or break over 3. And until it does that, one or the other, then I'm not going to be making any decisions yet, but just keeping it on watch. LTBR, nice follow through, day 2 red day from the watch list yesterday. Straight down and then holding near its lows, so ideally can get a gap down and then a opening range break. This one did have a bit of an opening range high, but it was still green on the day at that point. It hasn't done it when it was red. Since it was red, it's been all lower highs. Zooming out. Yeah, if this could gap down to like 780, that'd be sick. Or gap down and then fade into 780s. But I like this for a backside bounce either Friday or Monday. Has a good history of bouncing, so lower the better on that one. IBRX, quiet fader. VSTE, history of one and dones. If it proves otherwise tomorrow, could be a possible liquidity trap. Still holding its trend fairly nicely. If it can break and build over 215, 220, I think that would be a key level. But it's holding very well in its upper end of its range. Had a lot of momentum off the open, secondary legs, so there's definitely shorts involved here. And that 220 over under was where a lot of the volume was traded yesterday. So with the history of one and dones, with where the volume was traded and how well it held here, could be a liquidity trap setup. Roblox. I don't really have a plan on something like this. Like, I would have expected it to have more strength if SPY or Q's like actually recovers, but I don't really think I have much of a play in Roblox. Let it continue higher if it wants. 1580s, parabolics on IO and Q. And he pops back up into this 1560s, 1580s range, looking left. A lot of congestion. So then he shoves into that. I think good for lower. ENSC, this is more of a bigger picture watch. We have this high volume day and then two more high volume days that top out right at that 80 cent level. And now that it's not going away, if I zoom to this intradaily, looks fairly constructive. Front side, pull back, double top. Now it's either going to fizzle off or it's going to hold a higher low versus 30 cents and then rebreak of 80. So I will keep this on watch for a possible secondary leg. And Root, this is just wild. A gap up to 80 cents, a run to 120, and then a complete round trip back to 60 cents. Absolutely insane. So when it's done stuff like this on large gaps, it has a good history of second red days. So I will be looking for any power opens. Now that this has some outlier range. Let me see here. What's their earnings like? Reported 1.3, estimate negative 90 cents. So it beat estimates, revenues beat estimates. So that was the reason for the run, but given the price action in the reaction to the earnings, then doesn't look so hot. So ideally some straight up spikes and then some sort of setup similar to this, where you get a straight up spike, a pull, and then get this base like 106. And once it starts to fail to follow through and then pops start retesting 106, I can draw the line to make it a bit easier. And then once these pops start failing versus prior support, so ideally get a power shove up into the 80s and then get a similar setup to that would be ideal. But that's my list. Let's see. Franklin, good evening, my friend. How's it going? Luke, profit taking. Are you using major, minor, resistance, or fibs? I do not use Fibonacci's. It's for profit taking, something like Roblox. I drew a trend line. It's all based off the chart. I had sells set up here at 54 for pre-market highs. I like to have a reason to sell, not just selling for the sake of selling. So then I drew this higher low trend line, low, 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 and then once it finally broke it, I took half off and moved my stop up to break even, right around $50 or so. And I was going to be risking there, but it started to fall through and didn't reclaim trend, so I moved on. So it's all based off the chart, trend lines. Sometimes I'll throw on a 5-minute chart if I'm looking to be patient and sell on a 5-minute bar right here. So the trend line worked and the 5-minute bar worked. So you had 5-minute bar lows, higher lows, higher lows, higher lows, higher lows. And then right through here, right where I sold, was the break of the prior 5-minute bar low. So I like to have a reason, some sort of system for why I sell, not just selling for the sake of selling. Root had support at 63.70. Well, not really. I think it had more support up here, up in like 97s, and once it gave way, this was all resistance. And then you've got the daily. You've got a triple top right there through 85s that didn't really come into play. So I don't really see a whole lot of support on this thing. I see a whole lot of resistance, personally. You could make a case for the 63 line being after hours and after hours, but I like to use levels from intraday where there's more volume traded. Alrighty, well, let's wrap it up there. I think that's about everything I wanted to get into. So DJT, lower the better for a first green day backside bounce. LTBR, lower the better, backside bounce. IONQ, any parabolics into 1580s for a short. GNPX and ENSC, bigger picture. Possible setups, but just giving them time. Need some more days, more information. VSTE, possible liquidity trap, and root parabolics up into prior resistance to join that trend. Failed fall through. Yeah, daily first for me, then intraday. Yep, I do the same. Yeah, I'm not much on watch. Definitely turn the market. Yep, I agree. Keeping it light, keeping it tight, but not doing a whole lot. I use a 4-chart time frame layout, 3, 5, 15 daily. Yeah, that makes sense. I've got a daily, an intradaily, and an intraday that I use. Alrighty. Thank you guys for hopping on. I'm sure more people will watch the replay given the time and everybody out with their kids and stuff. So, any EMAs? Yeah, I do have EMAs on the daily. The 4 EMA, the 10, and the 20. I use the 4 EMA mostly for mean reversion trades, for where I like to take profits on first red days. Okay, that's it. As always, get in where you fit in, make some memories, and I'll see you guys in the room. Take it easy. Peace.